Hi friends, Kendra Willard here with Lift 'em Up International. I just wanted to take a moment to give you an update on our projects and how things are going around the world in this season of coronavirus. So we all know how it's affecting us in the United States. You know, food can be hard to find sometimes, toilet paper, all that jazz. But we're still keeping up with our projects overseas. So we work with orphans and widows in post-genocide countries, and we're currently in Rwanda and Iraq and Pakistan. So in Rwanda, I don't think the virus has gotten there yet, but the country is on lockdown. The children were sent home from school about a week, maybe two ago. So those of you who are sponsoring children in our program, I think we're up to 73 children sponsored in Rwanda, and that's in 4 different cities across the country. All the schools have been closed, private schools. Some of our kids are in, what do you call that, where they go to boarding school. They've been sent home, and the neighborhood public schools have been closed. Everybody's been sent home. So, and I think some of the people in office jobs have been sent home. So they're trying to practice social distancing as well as you can in a country with 12 million people in the size of Massachusetts. But our kids are okay right now. They said nobody's sick in the virus. Their hospitals aren't having problems. But I'm trying to work with our staff on the ground in Rwanda and see if we can't redirect the funds that we give every month for school fees and redirect them for food. Because kids are at home now and they're with their families. Their families may or may not be able to work. And unlike in America, when we fall on our hard times these past few weeks, we've got pantries and freezers full of food. That may not be the case with these kiddos. Speaking of kiddos, mine is playing on a little play pad and having a good time and giggling. So if you hear some grunting coming in the background, it's a happy baby. So in Iraq, they had been on lockdown. They went on lockdown long before us. So they've got, they share quite a long border with Iran, and it's a very porous border, people moving back and forth. So while Iran was having their problems early on, a lot of that was trickling across the border into northern Iraq. So the city where our partners live and work and do ministry got shut down a week or two before anything in the U.S. started shutting down, and I think their lockdown has been extended. Our people are still, they're not hosting meetings, so we're not doing the big women's Bible studies and things, but they are still providing relief to Syrian refugees and Kurdish families. Same thing there, at least people are supposed to be home, schools are out, people aren't allowed to work, and also they don't have the overflowing pantries and things that we do here in America. So we're still partnering with them every month to get supplies delivered to Syrian refugees and Kurdish families in northern Iraq. And then also in Pakistan, our partners there were doing a traveling children's ministry where they would feed the children and then do a Sunday school presentation. Pakistan is also on lockdown and has been since before America started closing down. Food is getting hard to find there, and it's expensive. Oh, that's another thing in Rwanda. I know in DR Congo the food prices have quadrupled lately, and things are getting harder to find in Rwanda, but the price of food hasn't shot up too bad yet. So we're still able to get things for about the same price. And our widow gifts, the big bags of rice and oil and corn, that stuff has all stayed about the same. But in Pakistan, things are getting harder to find. Everybody's home, out of work, and especially the Christians. They're not allowed to have the good jobs anyway, so there's not a whole lot saved up when things like this hit. So they're desperate. They're asking for help. And this month they're needing, I think, $2,800 to make care packages for Christian families who are at home. The children are hungry. Families are asking for food. So also we'll see what we can do about redirecting our other ministry funds, because normally we'll help finance a large ministry event every month, and then also the traveling Sunday schools. So we'll see what we can do to kind of repackage that into aid and relief to Christian families in Pakistan, and or anybody in general. Like we don't stand there and say, are you Muslim or Christian, before we hand out food. If somebody needs it, we help them. But our focus, our heart is the Christian community there, because they're held down and persecuted because they're Christians. And yeah, so the world is still turning. People are still people. People are still having weddings. People are still having babies. Weddings might just look different than they did before, but and having babies might look different than it did before, but the world's still turning, and LTU is still working. And thank you all for keeping your donations coming in and keeping these good works going. I'll keep you updated on what we find out about the children in Rwanda and food packages going home. And I'm looking forward to putting together our annual report from last year, because I think in Rwanda we've got to be up to at least 27,000 meals served, probably 60 widow gift packages. And our widow gifts, if you're not familiar, is where $50 can buy a widow and her family 3 months of food in the form of 50 pounds of rice, 50 pounds of corn, and a gallon of cooking oil. Those are the staples of the Rwandan diet. We also had a good year for our artisan crafts coming out of Rwanda, our artisan craft sales. Let's see, what are our other projects there? And I said we're up to 73 children sponsored, and kind of getting a slow start on our fundraising for building our church there, but seeing as they're not allowed to gather right now either, it's kind of a grace period for us to be able to fundraise and get things rolling on that project. So for a reminder on that, churches got closed 2 summers ago. Over 8,000 churches all across the country got closed for health and safety reasons, or influence of the Chinese government. But anyway, the churches got closed, and there are new higher standards that need to be met, and so we're going to try to build a new church for the people in Nyamusheki to meet those higher standards. And it's going to be a big church, and it should be able to take the place of a few of the community churches that shut down in that area along with ours. So that'll be a blessing. And so be thinking and praying about how you can help with that throughout this year. I think we're going to really hit the ground fundraising on that project. And then in Iraq, there's always that need with the Syrian refugees. Turkey and Russia and Syria still doing their thing over there in Syria and driving out more Syrian Kurds all the time. And they're fleeing to northern Iraq, one of the few places that will take them that they can get to. And so we'll continue helping them there as we can, and spreading the good news in Pakistan. So if you want to learn more, follow us on our Facebook page and on our website at liftthemup.org. There's a news tab. If you click that, you can access all of our old newsletters. We might be behind a month or two. Ruben and I have been on paternity leave, but we'll get that ball rolling again and get it updated. But if you kind of want to hear a little bit more about who we are and our heart and things and what we do, you can do some homework there on those pages. But also you can scroll through all of our pictures on Facebook, and we're on Instagram also. And again, that's Lift Them Up International, and our website is liftthemup.org. And I do send out monthly emails, newsletters. If you would like to start receiving those, just shoot me a quick email that says sign me up to Kendra at liftthemup.org, KENDRA at LIFTTHEMUP.org, and I'll get you all signed up. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're holding up with all of this. Like I said, keep up the hope, keep up the good work, keep loving people, keep doing the works of Jesus. This thing's not going to last forever, and I really think that the Lord is preparing His church in this season for what's coming next. So let's continue to be faithful in the things that He's given us in this season. We'll respect our authorities and do the things that they ask us to do in this season, and we just have hope, and we look forward to when God brings a miraculous closure to all of this. I think it's going to come sooner than the talking heads say. I think it's going to be good. So God bless you. Thanks for taking the time to hang out and have an update with me. And thank you again for sponsoring your kiddos in Rwanda and keeping these projects going. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.